we're going to go over what I want you guys to have for the shopping bag. The first thing you're going to notice is that there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in this document. So if you go over to your layers palette, this will give you an idea of what everything does on what layer. So this is a spec layer. This is going to tell us the actual width and height of our document and all of the things we need to know for the flaps. And all of that information. It's kind of nice to have a layer like this so that way you know how wide everything is, and you can just turn this off when you're actually starting to work in your document. But we have the spec layer there. Next we have the glue areas. These are the areas where you're going to ideally be applying the glue when we fold up the shopping bag, so you're not going to be seeing these areas. These are going to be where the glue sits. But it's nice to have this space dedicated to it so that way your artwork doesn't go into your glue areas and you think it's going to appear, but it's really not. So we have the glue areas there. Then we have the artwork. We have the live artwork. This is the layer that you're going to be putting your artwork on. So just keep that in mind. We're going to be mainly working in this layer. We're not really going to be editing anything else. But from that, we're going to turn that off, and we're going to get our wireframe. Our wireframe and crop marks. So our crop marks are these magenta lines. This is going to help us when we actually start scoring this document after we apply our artwork and do everything we need to do within here. This is for when you print it out, you know where to cut. So it acts just like regular crop marks, but it also acts as a tool for you to figure out where to score your document. And we'll go over that in class. But that's essentially when you just create little lines for you to fold. So there's the crop marks, and this is the wireframe. This is what your template actually is. So we have that there. I'm just going to put back on my crop marks, glue areas, and artwork. And these little locks here mean that you can't edit the layer. So right now you see that my cursor is just a little pencil and with a slash circle thing. That just means I can't edit anything, and I don't have an editable layer selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock my artwork layer. And we have that. So what I want you to do for the assignment is I want you to put an image within the circle by using a clipping mask. So it's actually quite easy, but I want you to just put an image in there. So I've already selected an image. I'm going to go to my folder. I'm going to go to my image, and I'm going to go to, I have pictures of eggs. The first thing you want to do, what I like to do if I know that an image is going to stay in a document, is I like to embed the image. So just like in InDesign, when you put an image in there and you move a folder or you rename something, it's going to try and look for that again. And this X in the middle essentially says that it's permanently linked somewhere else. It's not actually in your document. It's a linked file. If you want to go to embed, now it's a part of your file. So if you open up this file on another computer, this image will be here. So you don't have to worry about that. But what I want you to do now is get your your solid arrow, and then we're just going to scale this down. So hold Shift and start scaling this, and get it to a good size as to where you want to crop your image, like what you want to show of this image. I want the entire circle filled. I don't want there to be edges on this. I want the entire circle to be filled. So this seems like a good size for me. But we can see that it's on top of the black circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command Y, and that's going to bring up just the bare bones skeleton of our document. It's going to bring up all the lines and all the shapes and their outlines. So this is outline mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the circle, and I'm going to use my key command to send it to the front. So I'm going to do Shift Command bracket, and that's going to send it right to the front. So if I go Command Y again, we're going to see that the black circle is up here. So all you have to do to create a clipping mask, it acts like the box that I showed you guys in InDesign, where you essentially put your photo inside of it, and then you can edit and move the photo around inside that container. So what we're going to do that, we want to make sure that the shape we're going to be using the clipping mask on is in the front of the image, because otherwise your image will act as the container for the clipping mask. So we want to make sure that the circle is on top of our image. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm also going to click my image behind it. And there's a quick key command that you can use. It's just Command 7. So Command 7 will create our clipping mask if we want to do it that way. So I'm just going to undo that so I can show you the other way. So I'm going to select, hold Shift and select the back. So I have the two things selected, and I can go to Object, and then Clipping Mask, and then Make. And that will also make our clipping mask. So right now I've selected the size that I want it to be, but say I wanted it to be smaller within there. I can edit this as well, just like I did in InDesign. You're going to have to get your hollow arrow, and then once you select it with your hollow arrow, you have to hit your solid arrow, and that'll give you your transform tools here. In InDesign it's a little different, but here, hollow arrow, switch to solid arrow, and then you're able to edit the size, and the clipping mask stays. If for whatever reason you want to get rid of a clipping mask, all you would have to do is select your main shape here, the one with the image inside of it, go to Object, Clipping Mask, Release, and it'll release the clipping mask. The thing is that it doesn't maintain the color of the shape. So it's still there, it's just not showing you. So all you need to do is hit Command Y again, that way we can see it's there. And so it doesn't have a fill. When you release the clipping mask, the fill goes away. So we're gonna select it, and we're gonna make the fill black so that way we can see it. So there it is again. So if I want to make the clipping mask again, I click here, select them both and hit Command 7, or go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make, and I can make my clipping mask. So we have our artwork there, and then what I want you to do after that is then type in your name so I know whose project this is. And then one other thing I want you to do, I want you to add color on the sides here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my rectangle tool, or M, so I'm going to click M, and you can make it whatever color you want, but I would ideally select color from your image. So I'm going to select, we'll do the green, we'll make it the green. So I color picked my green, I'm going to click M, and then I'm going to zoom in and draw and make sure that it's completely in the side of the guides there. So this is now the side of our document. So this is the front of our box right here, or the front of the bag. So we have the front of the bag here. This is the side of the bag, This is the back of the bag. So what I want you guys to do is add color on both of these sides. And an easy way to figure out how big your box actually needs to be, your color box, in order to fit, is you can go back into your specs in the document. You can see that this is 2.75 inches by 8 inches. So if you want to be really precise with it, you can hit your M, your rectangle tool, click, and then you'll get your width. So it's 2.75 by 8, and then that will give you exactly the size that you need. You can do it that way, or you can, if you have your snap to guides and everything on, it'll sort of act like InDesign does, and then let you snap to everything. A good way to know is select your box with your solid arrow, then change over to your hollow arrow, this one right here, and then just move your thing right here, and it will show you when it's like completely lined up here. Just move it over. When it turns hollow like that, that's how we know it's actually hitting a point. So we're going to make sure that it hits a point. There we go. So now it's on the point. We know that it's exactly where it needs to be. It's going to fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to M 2.75 by 8. We're good. It's going to stay the same color, green. And then we're just going to drag that over, and we're going to make sure that it's exactly on the point that we need it to be on. So I'm going to get my hollow arrow, drag it up. Let's see, come on. There we go. So it's on the point that we need it to be on. Oh, no it's not. There we go. Right in the middle. Okay, so there we go. So now we have our two sides of color. We have our image that we use as a clipping mask in the inside there, of that black circle that I put there, and then just change your name. So what you're going to do when you actually print this document is you're going to turn off the specs. You're going to keep on your glue areas. You're obviously going to keep on your artwork. You're going to keep on your wireframe, and you're going to keep on your crop marks. So what you need to do is then go to File and then Print. And you're going to get this dialog box that comes up right here. So in general, in the media size, you want to make sure that you're clicking Super A3B, so it's 13 by 19. And that's going to be the paper size. So if you see on the Epson box or Epson print like that, it'll say Super A3B on it, and it's 13 by 19. So what you want to make sure of is that your document actually fits within this bounding box right here. So what I've done, I've had to move this down. So it appears as if it's going to be cut off down here, but it's not. If you come up here, you're going to be losing your crop marks up there. So make sure click and drag and move this down, and then that should be good to go. Make sure that the scaling is on do not scale. You don't want this to scale up or down. We want it to be exactly the way that it is. So from here, you're going to go to Setup, Continue. That's fine. And then in this box right here, you're going to go to you're going to click the bubble there, go to Print Settings, and then in here, this is where you're going to change it. So in the media type, you're going to go to Matte Paper, Single Weight Matte Paper, and then make sure this is in Super Photo 1440, High Speed, Finest Detail. And make sure this is on paper tray because you're going to be feeding it through the paper tray, so that's fine. And then hit print. So when you hit print, it'll go, and then you'll print it out on your Super A3B.